This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Hello, Meltdonia. Tim Melton here, live in the Culver studio, yet again with you here on this Monday. Hope everybody is doing well out there, and we appreciate you joining us as we are here for another edition of Meltdown Live. I am Tim Melton. Joining me here in studio, the one, the only, Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, how was the weekend, my friend, and the little bit of a break we had there at the end of the week, because we got a lot to talk about in the movie community.
We do have a lot to talk about. Caught up on some more rest. I've been doing a lot of that lately.
I can tell, man.
Yes. So for anyone who doesn't know, I've been I normally get about 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night.
And you've been working on that.
Yeah, I've been working on that for a while, and I got to take some naps over the weekend. And do we give the other part of the news?
The other part of the news?
Well, I mean, I guess why I've been able to get so much rest.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So I am no longer a producer here at Double Down Media. It's freed up a lot of time.
A lot of people still think you're an intern.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I am now director of operations and distribution here at Double Down Media.
Yes,
so
he is.
I am not constantly going 100 miles an hour all across the city and just doing a whole bunch of unproductive stuff. I will be able to focus my efforts on TNR and make sure that it's the best show it can be.
See, now, technically I work for Tyler, and that's created a weird power dynamic here on the show. Because
it does.
For those that don't know, Tyler, I'm pulling back the curtain. There was a spot that used to run on TNR, which was it was called Tyler's Telegrams. And it was the thing that I was most proud to have written. And in that, you talk about how for the low price of, I think it was $270,000 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I'll show up to your house and I'll tell you everything that happened on TNR. You don't even have to watch. Or you could just, subscribe to our socials. It was a fun bit, but in that, I got you to say a testimonial for yourself about how you're a businessman now. And at the end, I was like, only operational in Bibb County. I don't know why that made me laugh so much, that spot, but I mean, that was one of the first things we collaborated on.
Yes.
And
it actually was.
Took a life of its own, and now officially,
I am a businessman now.
You're a businessman. I wrote it into existence. So it's a great story there, and I'm very proud of you. The chat is going crazy for you. Smuff says, I think it was $440K. That sounds
right, yeah.
That sounds more right. I made it an obscene amount because I was worried someone would actually purchase it if I didn't make it an obscene amount, which, if someone had purchased it, I would have wanted at least some sort of cutoff of it, 10% or something. But yeah, that's big, Tyler, and congratulations. You deserve it. And I appreciate all of your commitment and hard work that has led you to this particular task and situation and job and role. And, it's a good thing, and I'm very, very proud of you. So good stuff there. I'm glad we announced that right off the top. We've got to get into weapons, though.
Oh, yeah.
We saw weapons last Thursday. Our last show that we have done was on Wednesday, and we had a very emotional show on Wednesday, if you saw it. Thursday, everyone knows how hyped we've been for weapons. I mean, for months.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's asked me, like, hey, what's something coming out this year that you're genuinely excited for? I would grab them by the shoulders and I'd yell weapons, and I'd shake them violently. And they'd be like, please let go of me. And I'd be like, no, you have to hear me out. Weapons is going to be the real deal. Weapons is going to be a hit. Weapons is going to have everybody talking. Weapons is going to be this year's long legs, all this stuff. I mean, I was like, completely put all my chips on weapons is going to be the real deal. We saw Weapons Thursday. My question to you, Tyler, is weapons the real deal?
That depends on what we're talking about by the real deal. Now, if you are someone who gets hit with all the marketing for it. It's like, this is the scariest movie since such and such. Usually since The Exorcist is what they always go to. I don't think it's that. This is a really good thriller, though. Just stay away from the marketing, because that overhypes horror movies, especially for me at least. But if you're going in blind to the story, this is a gripping thriller that you are hanging on to every frame of.
Okay, I'll go a step further, right? I think there is this sort of caveat where it's like, is it a horror movie? Is it a thriller? I do believe it is a horror movie. If you look at it in its totality, it plays like a thriller, though.
Yes.
But it is a horror movie.
Yes.
To me, it's not scary and it's not thrilling as much as it is disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing, unsettling,
tense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, edge of your seat, what is happening, what's going to happen. I'm compiling as much information. And we're not going to spoil anything, because Weapons, like you said, is benefited more from knowing as little as possible going into it. And so we're not going to get on here and start going through plot points and details. That's not how we roll here. We like to where everybody can join us around the campfire and make up your own mind of whether you want to see the movie. I will tell you personally, my expectations for Weapons were through the roof, as you've heard. Like, skyrocketed through the roof of what I wanted this movie to be. And we're leaving the theater after seeing the movie on Thursday, and an employee actually was coming into the theater and asked what we thought of it. And I said, my expectations were high and it surpassed them. Like, I'm really, really happy with this movie.
Yeah.
I'm currently at a 4.5 out of 5 with it. Sinners for me is a 5 out of 5 movie. This is got a better chance of hitting 5 out of 5 than it is a 4 out of 5. So it's more in like that 4.75, 4.8 range for me. And I want to see it again. I want to see how I feel about it again, knowing all the twists and the turns and the puzzle pieces coming together.
If you can, try to make one of those late night prime showings, because I feel like the sound design will be amazing.
Sound design in our theater was not great.
It wasn't great.
It was a little low at points, some of the dialogue, especially early on. But it's a movie about perspective, and that I love. Like, if you look at it from this point of view, it plays like this. But if you look at it from this point of view, it plays like this. And, you know, there's a lot of movies over the years that have done that sort of thing. That isn't new. But this story is told best when you're able to shift your perspective and look at it full 360 by the end of how everything plays out. And I'm really happy they went with that device to use to tell this story. So, overall, I'm very, very happy with this. Zach Kreger is a director I've had my eyes on ever since Barbarian in 2022. And I hope that this does wonders to get more people to watch Barbarian as well. I assume the streaming numbers on that, or the rental numbers on that, are way up.
I assume so. Barbarian hit Netflix either last month or this month, so it's very accessible for people now. And you know, Prime allows you to rent it as well. Those always do well. I'm
happy about this one in Weapons. It's really a tough movie to talk about without getting into spoilers, but how did you think, like, just from a cast perspective, the movie was cast? Because I thought that was A+ top tier. I thought everyone was in a perfect spot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Josh Brolin plays his role of a concerned parent very well. Julia Garner still has that kind of Spitfire energy, but it's more reserved, and I really like that for this role.
She's had three she's had 3 major roles so far this year. This has been a year that she's really moved up in film.
And you've only liked one of them.
I've now only liked one of them, yeah. The other one was Wolfman, which started off strong, but what Wolfman loses his hair as he develops into a wolf? I don't understand that.
Bro has the mange.
I guess. And then Fantastic Four Missteps. I am not the biggest fan of that, as it took another 60% dip this weekend. We'll talk more about the box office numbers coming up, but, you know, I hate to tell you that I got a pretty good record here with calling it like I see it, and, you know, just word of mouth on Fantastic Four and people not caring about these characters cinematically, it continues to be a big problem that plagues the IP. And I think that they'll fit in well into the MCU. I think this movie was about getting them established for future MCU team-ups. But this movie alone is not enough to save the day for Marvel. And then Julia Garner was in Weapons, and she did a fantastic job. I mean, she has to have this perfect balance of being frantic and in control. And she's able to do both really, really well in the movie. So, you know, there's so many elements of Weapons I can't wait to get into in some sort of spoiler fashion, but from our non-spoiler take, this movie crushed this weekend. Number one movie in the country. It's an original movie. A lot of people say like they are craving originality in their movies. Mm-hmm. This is one of those. Like Warner Brothers has delivered a lot of original storytelling that has led to box office success this year. I mean, if people want to debate Weapons and Sinners, they can do that all they want, but the real winner is Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like the real winner is Warner Brothers at the end of the day, and Ryan Coogler and Zach Kreger.
Well, Zach Kreger can set Warner Brothers up with another win. Did you see that story come out this past week?
Help refresh my memory.
So Zach Kreger has written a script. He's got it completed, and he has yet to pitch it to DC Studios, but he would like to very much.
Swamp Thing?
Henchman. It would be about just a low-level henchman of the Joker and Harley Quinn who manages to, like, actually do some damage to Batman.
See,
just,
that's
like, by pure happenstance.
I'm not kidding you when I say in film class 15 years ago, I pitched this exact script. Except it wasn't Batman. It was just, you know, some fictional superhero. But, yeah, I was going to call it Henchman.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay,
this is news to me. Are you sure you didn't like get one of my term papers from
I'm
2012
sure.
and reading it to me? Is this a joke?
It's not a joke.
Maybe he found them.
But yeah, he hasn't pitched it to DC, but I think it'd be really cool because you wouldn't even necessarily have to cast a Joker character. You could kind of just show their shadow a little bit because you're trying to not get caught by the Joker. You don't want him cracking down on you.
Right. I like the idea of those people exist in the world and you've got to kind of avoid them. I felt like the Penguin gave us a little bit of that. Like there's this lingering sort of presence out there. Real quick, when it comes to the chat right now, there's a lot of people talking about sort of the makeup of The Office and Disrupt Media. Charles wasn't able to join in much last week. I knew about EG. Who else left? And then you have Hunter talking about Taylor. We're going to address all of that in a couple minutes. We're going to wait towards the end of the show and give you an update on where everything stands with that. Obviously, last Wednesday was a tough episode for us because it was the last one. I don't know if we can just show the empty seat here, but that.
Oh, that was the other empty
There we go.
seat.
That was the other empty seat.
Yeah, the first seat was always empty unless Hunter Bussey shows up.
That is normally where we drag on, and EG's over there shuffling a deck of cards, getting ready to kick my tail in poker tonight, which, by the way, she's top 4 in the poker club right now. I also have a poker update coming your way here before the show is over that I'll get to. But I can't tell you, once again, how happy I am about Weapons, and I can't tell you how happy I am that I have found the dentists in my life that I will spend the rest of my life with at Alabama Dental Associates, as long as they'll have me.
Do they have good weapons to attack the cavities and tooth decay?
I prefer attack the plaque. That just sounds better. It's like attack the plaque. But Dr. Nolan, Dr. Brian, Dr. Jeff over there at Alabama Dental, they're going to take good care of you on Grants Mill Road. I was in desperate need of a dental team that I could trust. I went through absolute just calamity after calamity dealing with my local dentist, and the only reason I ever chose them is because they were right down the street. You shouldn't choose a dentist based on that. You should choose a dentist based on their reputation and based on what they do for their patients, their track record, and that's exactly what you get in a team like Alabama Dental. They are very busy all the time because people trust them at a high volume, but they make time for you. They've got extended hours, Monday through Thursday, open until 7 o'clock in the evening. They have Friday hours. They have Saturday hours. They'll work with your schedule, and you need to make sure you have a dentist on standby if you do have some sort of dental emergency that you need taken care of. They're going to make time for you there. 205-956-8977, or visit them at alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you, and we've really appreciated Alabama Dental being here from day one of the Meltdown and standing by our side, and we just cannot say enough good things about Alabama Dental Associates. Who knows, maybe I'll see you in there sometime very, very soon, because I have a September appointment coming up that I'm looking forward to. It's not hard to go to the dentist now. It's hard to leave the dentist. That's how much I love Alabama Dental Associates. Okay, let's look at the box office and the actual pure numbers. I'm very excited about Weapons being number one with $42.5 million. That is a huge haul, beat all estimates, and I'm really excited for that. Not only for Weapons and Warner Brothers and theaters, but also just the horror genre. This goes to show that there are great things that can happen within original storytelling with horror, and I am all about Weapons being a movie that people are championing, including us. Now, a movie I did not see is in the number 2 spot.
I didn't see that one either.
Tyler, you see everything. Tell me why you didn't see Freakier Friday.
I didn't particularly like the first one. It wasn't marketed towards me ever, so I did see the first one a few years after it came out.
Yeah.
I watched it with my cousin.
Doesn't fit your flavor profile.
It's not for me. I prefer Herbie Fully Loaded.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I didn't see it, so I wasn't gonna go see this one.
Well, it did pretty well for a movie that looks like it should have just been thrown on Disney Plus.
That's been the common trend with Disney this year.
Yeah. I mean, it was a movie that looked like it could have been a throwaway. It made $30 million, $29 million. Obviously, the most box office success that Lindsay Lohan has had in, I'm not kidding. I mean, it's not a shot. 15 years?
What was she doing in 2010?
I don't know. I just
Other
sounded
than
like
getting behind the wheel when she shouldn't.
Okay. I think it was just a nice round number, that
Yeah.
I was looking for, like 2010 to now.
But no, you're right. This is the most box office success she's had in a long time.
I think that she's got a little bit
She's
of
got a resurgence.
Did she ever show up in Mean Girls 2? Do you remember? You went and saw that movie.
She did.
She did show up.
She showed up at the very end as like a cameo role.
Oh, okay.
When, whoever plays her character in the new version, they have to do the math stuff at the end. And it's like it's a reference to the whole like limit does not exist ending.
It is amazing to me how much you knew that answer to that question. Now, you went to go see the movie. This is like one of the first movies you went to go see covering it for the Meltdown, actually, was Mean Girls 2.
I actually didn't cover it for the Meltdown because I had someone with me, and it wasn't my choice to see Mean Girls.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So
you were a part of the Meltdown family when that movie came out.
Yes.
I want to, I don't want
Like, I want to point out there was a Dune re-release at the time.
I understand. I don't even think, it was a Dune re-release. They were getting ready for Dune 2 to come out.
Yes.
I got you. I'm not trying to damage your street cred, Tyler.
Oh, no, you're good. I know you've been in that spot.
I've been in that spot.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four First Steps in the number 3 spot, dropping from first to third. A 59.9% drop as it's reported. It's a 60% drop again, and it's fine. People think I just hate this movie. I don't. I'm just numb to it.
I wonder why.
I'm numb to it. I thought it was very, very safe, like too safe. My biggest criticism is it's too okay.
Well, Charles backs you up in the chat. He says, saw Fantastic Four this weekend, and it was just okay.
It's generic.
And then Nick says, I saw Fantastic Four over the weekend, and it's better than you gave it credit for, Tim. So
Okay.
Excuse me. A little split opinion.
I think Hunter Bussey gave it a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, one of the best MCU movies ever. And I was like, what did I miss? It wasn't like, what's wrong with Hunter? I would never ask that question. That's not the question I'm asking. My question was,
You've got enough common courtesy not to say it.
what did I miss to where it was not a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10? Now, let's not forget, he gave a 5 out of 5 to Sinners. I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah.
He gave a 5 out of 5 to F1. Fun experience, but like more of a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Like narratively, it's very, I don't want to keep using the word generic, but it's very like if you've seen one sports movie, you've seen F1. It's kind of got that same sort of pace to it narratively, but technically, it's just off the map with what they achieve in that thing. I mean, it's just absolutely mind blowing. You see that one in the right theater, and you're like, oh my God. I mean, my seat was rumbling. It was great. It was a fun time. But it wasn't like a movie that I'm like still thinking about the complexities of the motivations and the characters. And like, I feel like you could have plugged and placed anybody and it would have been. You're
not going through YouTube looking at video essays breaking down the themes of F1.
You could have replaced anybody in that cast with some other person and it would have been the same exact experience. You could have replaced Brad Pitt. You could have replaced Javier Bardem, even though I think they did great. There was nothing unique about those characters or performances that stood out amongst other sports movies. In Fantastic Four, characters I already have tried to get invested in that I can't. This didn't do anything to propel it any further for me. And when they reboot it again in 10 years, we'll see what happens. But Fantastic Four first steps, dropping another 60%, making it a $15.5 million haul. It moves up domestically to $230 million. And then worldwide, it's currently at $434 million. So the domestic and the international seem to be sort of winding down both at the same time. And this is a movie that's going to, I don't know, make another, you think it's going to make another $100 million in its run? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
projections today saying that there's pretty much no way it was going to catch up to Superman.
Oh, it's not going to catch up to Superman. But another thing is Superman got the jump on it, right? Mm-hmm. Superman did take a lot of air out of, they're two very similar types of movies, and they're both trying to achieve the same thing, and they're both very fantastical in their approach, and no pun intended. And Superman got the head start and was able to continue to draw in audiences even when Fantastic Four hit the scene. So we'll talk about Superman here in a second.
Feige also said that it's because not enough people know about the Fantastic Four. And, but once they see the Fantastic Four in Doomsday, then everybody's going to love them.
Got it.
That's straight from Kevin Feige.
Probably good that Doomsday script wasn't finished, so now they can write out the Fantastic Four. Okay, I'm done. It was just a joke. The Fantastic Four, they're really compelling. Let's go to this. The Bad Guys 2, dropping from second to fourth. 52% drop. I don't know what to really say about this movie because I'm not going to view it or see it or anything, but I think Freakier Friday definitely took some of the family audiences away from it. I mean, some of, especially the female-driven audiences that are going to check out that movie compared to Bad Guys 2. I think it took some of the air out of that one, but Bad Guys 2 is in no way like this big flop or disaster or anything like that. I think it cost like $80 million to make or something like that, and it's already at $83 million worldwide. It'll continue to play well on digital. Families are going to eat this up when it hits a place where they can watch it at home. It's, it's a safe bet. And I have no doubt there will be a Bad Guys 3. I have no doubt about that. The Naked Gun dropping just 50%, which I think is a big win for The Naked Gun, dropping from third to fifth. It's at $33 million. I believe this movie took about $40 million to make or something like that, roughly.
I wish it had another $300,000 added to the domestic total. So it could be $33 and a third $1 million.
That's very funny. Worldwide, it's already at $56.4 million. And I'm not as high on this movie as you are coming out of it. But I think it is a very good, nice, disposable comedy.
Yeah.
Where it's a fun time. And it's like the F1 of comedies. You know, like you go in.
I don't know if I go that far.
Okay.
I'd see myself rewatching The Naked Gun before I rewatch F1.
Okay. Well, I think what it does is it brings in a sleepy summer audience, gives them bang for their buck, and sends them on their way to where they don't have to think about it much afterwards.
Okay. Well,
that's
in
what
that
I'm
case,
kind of
yeah,
saying.
it is pretty similar to that.
It's that version of, with the comedy side compared to the action side. And I like The Naked Gun very much. I just haven't really thought about it much since. Like there's that one sequence that I've thought about with Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson on like a snow retreat, which is just it's lived rent free in my head, that one sequence. But it's a safe movie to where if your pop's looking for something to watch that he's going to have some very uncomfortable chuckles during, it works for him. It works for him. I think I'm glad that this movie was made. I'm glad it's out. I'm glad we saw it. I just haven't thought much of it since it came out because I was so high on weapons and putting all my energy towards that. But I think that if you were to look at the top 5 movies in the country right now, the 2 movies that we would be leaning to recommend to people are either Weapons or Naked Gun, first and foremost. Like go into one of those.
Yeah, if we're looking at top 5.
And so, it's been overshadowed, but it's still a quality experience. Superman dropping from 4th to 6th, dropping less than 50% weekend over weekend. It's at 43.1%. I thought about rewatching this today, actually. I thought about going back, seeing how like a month later it sits. It's exactly 1 month since it came out. We've talked about the health of DC and their superhero sector, and not just DC, but Warner Brothers and their superhero sector with DC and DC Studios being its own separate entity. And everybody's talking about James Gunn being confirmed to writing a sequel and making sure that that's out there. I do think they need another heavy hitter soon. It's my biggest complaint about the current DC Studios is that I'm not sure Supergirl or Clayface is the thing they need it to be to continue momentum. Those seem a little bit more experimental to me than something that is one of those big tentpole foundational setups, so.
And I think that's why it actually, it works in its own weird way. I think if the Clayface movie and the Supergirl movie are well received by the people who do go see them, then it buys DC even more goodwill, which is something they just haven't had in forever. Superman, a lot of people are saying, I don't know if it'll break even. It's already broken even. But what it's done more than that is build that brand reputation back. That's money you can't buy. You can't buy the amount of goodwill that James Gunn's Superman has brought towards the entire DCU.
But that goodwill will evaporate because time will make people forget about that feeling. And that's why they need to capitalize pretty quick. And I don't think Peacemaker
is not
Supergirl
it's not
or Clayface gets the job done. I think they need Superman 2 out in 2027. They need, they just need to continue to follow up. I worry that they're losing whatever goodwill that they've generated because there's nothing for people to hold on to and gravitate towards. But who knows? Maybe those will be absolute bangers and they'll bring all different kinds of people in. And then all of a sudden there's a lot of people wondering what the next stuff is. But I think the Superman team should be happy. I don't know exactly. We'll never know the full transparency of how much it took to get that movie off the ground. Pun intended on that one. And with all of the different tie-ins, marketing tie-ins, and like how much money did it actually generate? Because it's not just the box office numbers. It's also these partnerships, these marketing partnerships that we keep seeing with movie studios trying to get clever about how they accumulate more money for their IP. So, at the very least, this thing looks like it was a mild hit financially. But I still think it's like Batman Begins was a mild hit financially that, once again, reestablished Batman into cinemas that got the taste out of people's mouth of what was Batman and Robin. And then The Dark Knight exploded. And then The Dark Knight Rises made even more money because The Dark Knight was such a huge hit. So it just kept building on it, and Warner Brothers, DC, they want to do that again. They want Superman to be a table setter, and they want to bring out a meal that everybody dines on. It's like, this is fantastic. And then they want to hit you with like this
Fantastic Four,
this wonderful, this wonderful dessert that is sort of the next chapter of that. So will Superman be able to sustain momentum? We will see. Jurassic World Rebirth, which is a movie that sucks. Jurassic World Rebirth, not very good. Am I seeing this correct here? I think I am.
What are we looking at?
Jurassic World Rebirth, domestically.
Yeah.
326.
Yeah.
Superman, domestically. 331.
Oh.
Superman has passed Jurassic World domestically. Now, the international number, it doesn't even make it close. Jurassic World is at $800 million right now after this weekend. People love their dinosaurs all across the world. But still, the fact that Superman passed Jurassic World domestically is pretty impressive because that's a franchise that just prints money. F1, the movie, they're in the number 8 spot, holding really, really well, only a 32% drop, and people continue to go out and see this thing for the first time. And it is a fun day at the movies for sure. It has done really, really well. And worldwide is at $570 million. So good for F1. Together drops from the 6th spot to the 9th spot. We saw this movie, but not together. We saw this movie separately. And it got eaten alive, I think, this weekend by weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And it also got eaten alive on what I feel very confidently is people going to see together and going like, it's kind of like I just didn't like what they did with it. It's fine, but it's like it doesn't go where you expect, or it doesn't have payoffs. I feel like the payoffs in that movie suck. And I don't think the movie sucks. I just think like the resolutions to the situations these characters find themselves in suck. I'm going to give a mild spoiler for Together. It's been out a couple of weeks. If you wanted to really see it, I'm going to give a mild spoiler. There's a sequence where they fall in a cave. This young couple falls in a cave. Okay? It's like, boosh. They fall in a cave. They go, well, guess we'll just start a fire, and, my phone's damaged, of course, and, there's no getting out of this cave. We're just going to have to spend the night, and hopefully we'll get help the next day. They wake up the next morning, and they just go, oh, well, let's just climb out. And they just go and they climb out of the cave. And there's nothing else really brought up about it. And I'm like, wait. Why, when you fell, did you not look for the solution of just climbing out of the cave? It was almost like there was a ladder. Like, what's this rope ladder doing here? They weren't really even like, it wasn't even like a, hey, I think I know a way out. Or it was just like all right, let's go. And there's like a montage of them leaving. And it's like, why did you stay there overnight if it was so easy to just go? You weren't like crippled or injured, or like you could have just left. Does that make any sense to you?
I had just assumed it was the rain, because, if you're grabbing onto a rock, you wouldn't want it to be wet and slippery if you're trying to, grab it to lift yourself out. But, they really could have said something.
But, weren't they using, kudzu and vines, and, I don't know, it was like Tarzan and Jane leaving an area. It didn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. They focused more on the body horror visuals than anything else. And I liked the amount of lore that was in there. Just a little bit to spice it up. But yeah, like you said, the payoff at the end isn't worth it.
You're good at math. If you have a 9 out of 10 setup for a movie, and you have a 3 out of 10 payoff, was that a 6 out of 10 movie? I think so.
Let's see, that'd be a 12 out of 20.
I think I got it right.
6 out of 10.
I mean, it was like
3 out of 5.
It was like a 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10 experience because it had a wonderful setup, which is what you get in the trailers, which is why you buy the ticket. And then it had awful payoffs. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't like it. And the ending, goodness sakes. The last time an ending like that, I don't want to spoil anything. But like last year, everybody was losing their mind over Conclave. And the ending sort of hit with a thud. It was either going to work for you or it wasn't. And it didn't matter how good the rest of the movie was because it was really down to could you digest the ending. This movie together, like it has that same sort of like the setup for the movie, the hook for the movie, the thing that gets you intrigued is so interesting. But at the end, you're like, that was it? That's where we went? All right. A movie I've heard tons of good buzz about, but that's making no money is a movie called Sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it. I had the opportunity to see it for a screen unseen. From what I know about it, it's like kind of, I guess, Harold in the Purple Crayon-esque. I say that without knowing anything about it. It's just sort of that trope of a kid can bring imaginary creatures to life with their imagination sort of deal.
Heard it's great.
Yes, that is what I've heard as well. I forget the studio that made it, but it's being distributed by Angel Studios because it fits in with their sort of like wholesome family entertainment theme.
Well, I mean, I've had people reach out to me like, hey, you need to see Sketch. It's really good, really clever, and is positive. So
I believe Jason Collier was recommending Sketch.
Jason Collier was one of those individuals. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. We are going to Landmine Believer in the chat. Is TNR filling their positions with new people or just moving forward without? Love you two, but I think the Meltdown needs to add a third. There's obviously a lot of speculation about what's going on with, different shifts and careers and all this stuff. I promise you, we're going to address it before the show is over. We'll get into it, but Landmine Believer, I appreciate you being here. And I do appreciate your sentiment here of caring about Meltdonia and exactly sort of what it needs to be at its very best. I want to talk about trying to be at my very best, which is what I did by going to Tunica this past week. I went to Tunica, Mississippi, trying to pronounce Mississippi correct. I always say Mississippi, and my wife hates that I leave out a bunch of I's and a bunch of S's. But I'm like, if I can just get there quicker, I'm just going to say Mississippi instead of really pronouncing it. Pet peeve of hers. Anyway, went to Tunica, tried my luck at 3 straight days of poker. I played a lot of poker. Whole lot of poker. There was this one 95-year-old man who kept beating me just consistently. Just destroyed me. Every time I'd have him on the ropes, he would somehow get there and take all of my money. So if you happen to be watching, random Mississippi 95-year-old man, congratulations. You got me. He ended up beating my ace jack when an ace and a jack came out on the flop. He had trip jacks. He ended up beating me. I had a king queen, a king high flop comes out. He bets me all in. He was the aggressor in all these situations. I just want to point that out. The 95-year-old man was like, here. And each time I had to call. And he has ace 10. I have king queen. And ace comes out on the turn. So he takes all my money again. But I stayed alive. I fought. Friday night, I did not lose a single hand heads up in cash game poker in Tunica. You guys would have been proud. Saturday, old man wrecked my world. Sunday, same older gentleman. I'm fighting against him. He's wrecking my world again. I end up in a situation where I don't think anyone's going to believe me, but I'm wearing my Michael Myers shirt. It's a shirt I've worn on here a bunch that just has the Michael Myers mask. And my dealer is like, is that, do you know that was a Captain Kirk mask? And I go, of course I know it's a Captain Kirk mask. And he goes, well, I know that because my name is Michael Myers. And I'm like, really? And he points at his name tag and it says Michael. And he's like, I know everything about Michael Myers that you could possibly know. And I got to thinking about, there used to be this old commercial where there was a guy named Michael Jordan, and he'd go around and he'd make reservations, and like when he'd show up, people would be disappointed, or he'd constantly like run into people like, what's your name? Michael Jordan. They'd be like, come on. And I can only imagine this guy being named Michael Myers. Like, he gets probably a lot of Halloween references, and he probably gets a lot of Austin Powers references and Wayne's World and stuff like that. So he was a fan of my shirt or whatever. But I was in a situation where I ended up having King 8. My opponent bets big into me. The flop comes out 7-8-8. So I've got 3 of a kind. I'm in a dream situation. I check. I'm in the small blind. He bets big, which is exactly what I wanted. I shove. He calls. We get to showdown, and the turn is a 10, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is this guy going to get the straight against me? And then the river is another 8. So I ended up with 4 8s, which is great. So I turn over my hand. I've got King 8 in my hand, so, I'm happy. Opponent folds his hand. The dealer, Michael Myers, is like, hey, I need to call the floor over. And I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? Did I break some sort of house rule? Did I break, am I getting in trouble? Did I expose my cards too early? I'm thinking all this stuff. They bring the floor manager over, and he's like, I have a new high hand jackpot contender to report. I'm like, oh, okay. So the deal is you have to make it to showdown, and you have to use both of your hole cards in order to qualify for this jackpot. So that's exactly what happened. I qualified for the jackpot, and they said, you got to make it to the end of the hour having the high hand. And I'm thinking, well, someone could have quad 9s, quad 10s, quad jacks, quad queens, quad kings, a straight flush or a royal flush, and I would lose. So I looked at the clock to see how much longer I had to sweat it, and it was 9 minutes because it was 2:51 when I hit it yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's not a lot of time for somebody to do that. So I ended up sweating it out for 9 minutes. It was the longest 9 minutes of my life, and other than telling the story. And I ended up qualifying for the high hand jackpot. So I'm like, well, what does the jackpot pay? And they go, well, it pays $100. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but I expected, something with the name jackpot associated with it to pay maybe more than 100. They said, or you can spin this bingo cage. It's full of envelopes. Top prize is $5,000, but there's anything, you can get anything from $0 to $5,000. It's just sort of like a pressure luck sort of situation. I'm thinking like, I'm a game show junkie. Thank you to my grandmother for introducing me to game shows back in the day.
So you decided to press your luck?
So I pressed my luck. I did.
No whammies. Big bucks. Stop.
Correct. So I go over and I'm like, I want to spin the cage. I think everyone's kind of making that deal, right? I mean, like if you got a chance to win $5,000 at a casino randomly, you're going to do that. So he spun it around, and there's 1,000 envelopes in there, and they're little small, like the board game Clue. That's what they look like. They're that size envelope. And I go over there, and he spun it around, and I reach my hand in, and I told myself, the one that I want, I'm going to get. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to trade it out. I'm going to go with my first gut reaction. And I picked the envelope, and it was like Charlie Bucket opening up a chocolate bar. It's like, he does the corner first, and it's like, he wants to see if there's that flash of gold, and then he realizes it's just chocolate in there. Well, I open it up, and I see a 0, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I blew $100 on this. And then I see another 0, and I'm like, oh, and I open it up, it's like I pull it again, and I see another 0, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And I ended up winning a $1,000 bonus jackpot playing poker yesterday, which was really awesome, and was really exciting. And someone who doesn't get a chance to travel over there and play poker a lot, I was given that opportunity. I really enjoyed my time with my buddy Matt, and we had a really fun time playing poker all weekend long. So that was a great way to end the weekend. But it has now led me to the start of the week here. And, I want to get into where things are with the Meltdown channel. I want to get into where we have been the past couple of days. Obviously, I've been in a den of sin, playing poker.
Didn't know what you were about to say.
A den of sin, playing poker and trying to have everything aligned there, which, by the way, the high hand that I beat was king, 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 9-9. And if you know me, my favorite poker hand ever is king 9. So that was like really a nice cherry on top of the sundae. So there were so many little signs that things were going well for me yesterday. And there's been a lot of signs that have pointed me towards making tough, difficult decisions here for the Meltdown. And I can honestly say that, there's news I'm about to share with you guys that I think turns out to be very positive for everybody involved. I cannot personally thank enough the Next Round for giving us this opportunity to have this spin-off brand that focuses more on entertainment than it does on sports. The Next Round has always, in my opinion, as an avid listener to their radio show, viewer of their digital medium, and then employee in a absolute dream scenario, I've always respected the fact that they've been able to integrate pop culture and entertainment and fun and laughs into sports. And they've treated that part with just as amount of respect as they've treated the sports aspect. That's always drawn me in as a fan of them. And I wanted nothing more than to create something that leaned more into that stuff, the pop culture, the entertainment, the box office, the movies, all those releases. We did a fun series of trivia, which was crazy, and you couldn't have scripted the things that happened on there. Even if we had been rigging it, it would not have been as entertaining as it was for how it turned out. And Tyler, you can attest to all of that was genuine and real and crazy.
I mean, it was rigged.
Rigged against you?
Yes.
That's what you're saying? Okay, you're sticking with the bit. I don't need Tyler Trivia Man right now. I need Tyler pulling back the curtain with us. Tyler's been given...
I'm retiring with this trophy, you understand?
You're retiring with the trophy. Trivia is officially retired.
Going out on top.
Yes. But I have been... If you're watching this right now, you've probably been a fan at some point of TNR, of the Next Round, of the Jocks Roundtable. I don't mind saying it that way because what those guys produce on a daily basis, the chemistry, the magic that you feel, all that stuff I felt too. And I got a chance to professionally lean into it and be a part of it and around it. This show is very important to me. This room is very important to me. The people that I have shared these microphones with have been very important to me. That team at TNR day to day is very important to me. I want everybody to have a chance to win. EG announced last Wednesday that she was leaving. I don't want to find another EG. I don't want to find another Tyler. I don't want to find a replacement person for any of us. What I want is the opportunity to be able to say goodbye on our own terms. I want to end this experiment by having some level of control over it. It's not easy. It's not fun, but it works for everybody. Tyler just got the biggest promotion of his life. We started the show off talking about how big of a win that is for him. And trust me when I say it is a big win for him. That team has thrown their support around him, and I could not be happier with where Tyler is professionally in his life right now. EG, as you know, is a star in this business. And there's not a lot of people that have such a perfect fit at trying to accomplish their goals as what she has with her aspirations, her talent, her professionalism, and the fact that she put up with us for a year and a half or so. I'm really appreciative of that. And pop culture, she said, pop culture, movies, entertainment, never really her forte, not her passion. Definitely mine, not hers. She was a great sport. She participated in literally everything we did. I've now turned her into a poker junkie. I've worked with her to help further her career in every way I possibly can. I hope Tyler feels the same way. I want to be a mentor to young talent. That's the thing that I love more than anything. And I can honestly say that I have been that, and I'm proud of that. I care deeply about the people I work with. And so, like some of you have pointed out in the chat, you know, the show maybe is not the same with just two people. Plus, there's goals, aspirations, dreams that Tyler and I both have. And we know that being able to say goodbye on our own terms is a dream situation for us to help even move further into our goals and professional achievements that we want to add to our resume and add to our set of skills. So with all that being said, it's a long-winded way of saying today is going to be the final Meltdown within the Culver studio, and it wouldn't have been possible to get to this point without everybody. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Jim Dunaway, thank you. I appreciate Bo, who is the president of operations here at Disrupt, for sitting down with me and talking to me man to man about all of this stuff and my dreams and hopes and what I want to accomplish, and coming up with a way for us to all benefit. I am going to be remaining with the next round and the Disrupt Media team through the end of this week. It's been an absolute dream and pleasure to be a part of this group. It's been a dream and pleasure to be here with you daily, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, for a year and a half, doing something that I absolutely poured as much as I possibly could into. I have no regrets over how anything went in this studio. I have no regrets over any dealings that I've had with anybody up here. I feel very confidently that it's time for me to try to grow in other parts of this field, or grow in professional ways that I'm betting on myself. I'm going to take the leap. It's exactly what the TNR guys did. And I think everyone is a little bit envious of those guys taking the leap, betting on themselves. And I'm about to try and do the same thing. And I greatly appreciate my time here. I'm very appreciative that they let me clutter up their space and very limited space up here with all of this stuff, which now I'm going to have to figure out exactly how to get out of here. But I want to, more than anybody, thank the audience. Without you guys, without Meltdonia, without the supporters, the people who showed up, the people who kept it entertaining, the people who cared about what we got on the flop and the turn in the river, and the people who got the inside jokes and listened to me and EG sing, that supported all of our out of the theater reactions, that at times disagreed with us, but did it in a way that was in support of the overall show and discussion. Thank you. We came in here every day for you. Sometimes absolutely drained of any energy left. And it's not because of anybody else. It's just because the job demands that you be on 24/7. You're an ambassador. If you're a part of this business in a media profession, you are an ambassador to your organization. And I'm proud to say that I've been proud to wear the shield on my head. I've been proud to be a part of this group. You know, I'm proud of this mouse pad. And I want to say that that's going to be the case for a long, long, long time, is that I'm going to be proud of all these connections and all these people. I root for everyone to win and be successful. And it's a very bittersweet thing right now, saying goodbye to the daily routine. But I've taken the few days to think about it, and the last thing I wanted to do was not have a proper goodbye. So, Tyler, I don't know if you want to say anything. I don't know if you, have anything you want to get off your chest, or if you want to say anything. But we're at this point where there's like this, I don't call it a fork in the road. It's like, it's this great opportunity whereby going our separate ways, we can travel further. And I've really enjoyed it, man. We've had a lot of laughs, and this isn't the end of a friendship, obviously. This is just the end of us being stuck in a little tiny room with no air conditioning for for an hour to sometimes an hour and a half. There's a lot of times, like, people don't realize this. Maybe we plan to do about a 40-minute show, and the next thing you know, it's 3:30, and we're like, oh my gosh, that was fun.
Yeah, the original plan was get in and out of here in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Briefly talk entertainment.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No, it's too much fun.
Yeah.
Too much fun. I don't know if the chat, I haven't been able to read the chat during all of this, but I hope you guys, remember that we had a lot of fun. We did it our way. Sound like Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
And
do you have any regrets?
no regrets, as I mentioned. And to once again show that there's a lot of people that are going to fill the void with a narrative, and I ask that you don't do that. It's impossible to tell you not to, but you're going to. What I will tell you is you will see me on TNR Wednesday. You will see me on TNR Thursday. You will see me on TNR Friday. I'm still very much a loyal part of this team, and I cannot once again thank this team enough, thank the audience enough, and thank everybody every step along the way who's been in full support and loyalty to this show. This is a crazy thing that happened, right? This is kind of like popped up out of thin air. We took a gamble. We had a great time, and it's been a lot of fun, and we've met a lot of people, and I wouldn't take back this era for anything, but it's now time for new eras, and we're going into football season. It's a very popular time for a reshuffling of the deck, and I'm very, very proud of the people that I've worked with along the way. But I did set you up to talk, and then I completely talked over you, and I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to do that.
It's all good.
I was nervous.
I was sort of collecting myself. I mean, it's been rough. But, I mean, this has been the most fun.
You're good, man. You're good. You're good. Let it all out there, man. Transparency is not a bad thing. It's tough. Well, look, I think what Tyler is trying to say is that we genuinely care about one another. And because of that, that's what makes it so difficult to know that we're making the right decision, and we are going out on our own terms, which is what any broadcaster wants, is to be able to go out on their own terms. That's what we're doing. This was my decision. The next round did not get rid of us. The next round did not get rid of me. The next round promoted Tyler. The next round has been working with me for weeks to figure out what the next steps look like. It's been a great partnership. All I want is to be able to go and say at the end of the day, everything remained a great partnership, and we all handled our business like adults. So this is not a bad thing. Can you at least give a thumbs up, Tyler, and say you agree with this? Okay, there we go. We got that.
It's just rough because, you and EG are my best friends, and we both all share this dream, and, I'm excited to see what comes next. To everyone in the chat, we love you. We appreciate
Can I make you laugh for a second? Happy promotion, Tyler. No.
Yeah, I've made the joke to Tim that like my promotion went in and the monkey in the closet went ding 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 ding, because after that EG left, Taylor left, and now you're leaving. It was very bittersweet, but this has been the most fun I've had in I don't know how long, and you've been a great mentor, a great friend. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Appreciate you, man.
It hurts because we love it so much.
Correct.
And,
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes you have to go because of how much you love something, not because of how much you hate it. That's not the case here, right? Trust me, if there was bad blood, I would not be here right now being able to deliver this message to you. This is an independent decision, and it's one that will benefit everybody and everything, and will get me in a room at 2:00 that has some air conditioning. I'm kidding. It really does get hot in here. But I hope that this has come across earnestly and genuinely, because, you know, we care deeply about letting you know that we just want the best for everybody, including the audience, which there's a lot of crossover between the next round and the Meltdown, and we want you to continue that crossover. We want you to continue supporting the next round fully, and there's a lot of people who are going to look at this series of events, and they're going to create narratives, and they're going to create like, oh, well, I guess, you know, Tim and Tyler hated each other and all that stuff. Just tell them to watch this clip. You know, who knows, maybe Tyler will go like, if you missed yesterday's show, you know, he'll throw in a link. He's good at that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
The other narrative I've seen already happening is that it's financial reasons.
Yeah.
For people leaving. No. Everybody loves this place. Nobody was unhappy with what they were taking home.
Growth is just tough.
It's just the way things have worked out. We knew EG was going to outgrow this place. We knew Taylor was going to outgrow this place.
We didn't know I was going to, but I mean, I'm tall already, and I started another growth spurt.
I never saw myself becoming a director of operations of anything.
Yeah.
But,
well,
you know, we're all growing, and this room is something we've got to give up.
It is. It's weird. Like, I almost don't want to sign off because that's it, right? I mean, that's the tough part. Like, I kind of want to prolong it, not because of the vanity of it all or anything. It's just like, the minute we sign off, like, that's it. I mean, this is it. This is the bow on top of this lovely little experiment known as the pop culture campfire of the Meltdown. And I am indebted to so many individuals who showed up every day, rolled up their sleeves, and made this thing a reality. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Brian Pavlik for his contributions, Josh Sisk for his contributions, Jeff Roberts, I appreciate you very much, Jason Collier, who has become one of our fast favorite friends here of the Meltdown, Hunter Bussey, who has not only been on the show several times, but also allowed me to be a frenemy of his at times with how much we've gone back and forth verbally and in the chat. You know, I'm so grateful to everyone who has contributed to this crazy little show that I'm very happy with every chapter of it. I wouldn't do anything different. Obviously it started off as one thing, and then Tyler picked up the ball and ran with it. We worked together through what was a lot of adversity. That was the toughest chapter. This is not the toughest chapter. And we resuscitated this thing, and you guys are the ones that are the lifeblood that kept it alive. And so we don't ever want a situation where it has to abruptly end on somebody else's terms and not ours. And like, I don't know, in this broadcast industry, that can happen at any point. And I'm very, very happy to say that once again, these are on my terms, These are on Tyler's terms. These are on our terms. And I thank the next round, and I thank Jim, Ryan, Lance. I thank Reed Taylor. I thank Bo. I thank everyone for being professionals during everything and helping make sure that reputation remains an important part of this, right? I care deeply about my relationships with all these people, and I'm very happy to say that there have been numerous amounts of handshakes and appreciation shared, and I've made my decision that this is it for the Meltdown. I don't want to rebuild it again. I want to say goodbye to what was, I think, the greatest era of the show. I think we'd really hit our best stride as a show. And I can't imagine replacing that energy with anybody else and just trying to go through the motions and get through it. So, with that being said, much like the movie Weapons, we are running away in the middle of the night, and you may have to come searching for us, but I'm looking forward to one last goodbye here, but also over the course of the next several days, like being able to say goodbye to everybody personally and, you know, and work out the rest of the week and be seen in a very visible way on TNR. And I appreciate everybody. That's all I can say. Tyler, any last words here?
And appreciate you, Tim. Appreciate EG. Everyone that's coming in here to just either brighten up our day or make this crazy idea work. It's crazy because, you know, this is something I've always wanted to do. And because of the chat, because of you, I got to do it. And it's just wild. The other day, I was actually going back through some old videos. Saw the out-of-the-theater reaction for, I think it was Imaginary.
Yeah.
Dumb teddy bear movie.
Awful movie.
Awful movie and bad review by me. And then in the up next was the first thing you and I filmed together.
Yeah.
Monkey Man.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a story
Crazy
behind there.
to see like how far we've come, and I'm sorry for being a wreck on here. I didn't intend for it to be myself to be this way. I was honestly calm, cool, and collected until like we started talking about it. It's all started like setting in.
Well, that's what makes this thing work, is the transparency and the realism. So don't apologize at all for that. I will say the reason the Monkey Man review is so important is because we worked hard on that thing, like trying to figure out a rhythm.
We shot it 4 times. 4 or 5 damn times. And nothing else was really different between the takes, except for my level of performance.
Well, guess how I was going to save this to Friday, but I mean, you ruined it, of course. But like your growth as a talent from that moment to where like you moved into the big seat to the point where now we can just sort of like immediately get into a show and it doesn't matter what else is going on. Like immediately we can just get into a rhythm. Your growth in a year has been insane. And you know that. You've seen it. You felt it. And I am going to take some credit for that. But it's really been, it's been the right spirit and the right mindset. And I appreciate you putting everything into your craft. So congratulations to the Director of Operations, Tyler Lionel Johns. This is the saddest promotion of all time, but it is official. He is now your Director of Operations, and I'm hitting the long, dusty trail, and I will be in touch for sure and let you know where things are headed. I am so I have so much gratitude. That's the main thing, right? If I had resentment for anybody or anything, I would not be here. I have gratitude. That is what's filling my soul and heart. And so thank you for sharing your afternoons with us, and we appreciate it very, very much. That is going to do it for us. I have obviously talked about all of our sponsors today, but Culver's, MyBookie, Alabama Dental have all been with us since the first day, and they have supported us fully. And there's never been any hesitation from them to be right there in our corner. I appreciate Dr. Brian. I appreciate Joe from Culver's. I appreciate the team at MyBookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus going into this football season. But pretty soon games are about to hit. We're all about to get in a new routine. Football season will be here. We've never needed a football season more to be able to really get emotionally tied up, not in, any professional changes, but getting tied up into these kids and how they play football on a Saturday. And I'm looking very forward to that. So for the very final time, I will say goodbye. Thank you so much for all your support. And, still go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That's what I would recommend.
Keep the alerts on.
Keep the alerts on. All right. See you, everybody.